we have The Persistence of Memory by the Spanish surrealist Salvador Dali. It was completed in 1931 and it was painted with oil on a canvas. It is currently located in the Museum of Modern Art in New York City and it is one of his most famous works.
It is a very mysterious painting to look at, much due to the shading and the lighting of the artwork.
It seems to be a very hot landscape, almost like a desert, which can be portrayed in the melting watches and the branch that looks very dead and dry. The landscape resembles Dali's home, which is in Spain, which he also used in several other artworks. But this painting is most famously known for the melting watches.
Notice that there are 4 watches, but only one that is not melted. You can also see that there are ants on the watch, and it's not being melted away.
The ants seem to be eating away at the center of the timepiece. It can also be associated with a possible symbol of death.
Another interesting thing that you can see is a human figure or monster in the middle of the painting. There's one closed eye and it seems to have very long eyelashes. You can also depict that it also looks like a nose or a tongue or some sort.
Some people would say that this is a self-portrait or a representation of Dali himself.
You're right. Dali often used these figures or monsters in several other works to represent himself within the painting or idea itself. What do you think is the meaning of this painting? Is this work an optical illusion? Like, what exactly is it?
Dali usually never explained his works, but Dali would sometimes refer to his paintings as hand-painted dream photographs. As an author of a book, Don Addis would call it, the soft watches are an unconscious symbol of the relativity of space and time, a surrealist meditation on the collapse of our notions of a fixed cosmic order. But it could also have several different meanings. For example, it could be based off of Sigmund Freud's work on psychoanalysis by saying time is relative and is not fixed.
And I guess another interpretation would be that the drooping watches can mean that time is not relevant during sleep, because usually when we're sleeping, we're not really conscious of how much time is passing by.
Time does not persist, but memories do. So what is this we're looking at here?
We are looking at the swing painted by Jean-Honore Fragonard. It was created in 1767 and it is an oil painting on canvas. It is painted in the French Rococo time period. The French libertine Baron de Saint-Julien requested Gabriel François Doyen to paint this work. According to Art Bulb, Baron himself requested, "I should like you to paint Madame seated on a swing being pushed by a bishop." Doyen refuses this odd request and hands it over to Fragonard. Despite the odd request, Fragonard took the opportunity and created this work, which became the most iconic work of the French Rococo.
If you look closely, it seems as if the sunlight is purposely shined on only the mistress herself, and that all the other people watching her are completely in the shade. This could also be what draws the eye in straight to the woman and then out to her surroundings afterwards. In the middle of the picture, we see a young woman in a pink and white lacy corset dress. She is also wearing a hat that is known as a shepherdess hat.
Isn't that sort of ironic, like the hat that she is wearing?
Kind of is ironic according to a source that says, shepherds are normally associated with virtue because of their living close to nature, which is uncorrupted by the temptations of the city. If you look closely, there is also a man behind the young woman who is the one keeping the swing going with 2 ropes that are attached to the back of the swing.
As you can see, the swinging movement is emphasized by the angle of the man standing on the right as he is trying to pull backwards on the swing, and by the angle that the woman is in, and she is leaning backwards and her left leg is stretched outwards, as one would when reaching the highest point in a forward motion on a swing.
One shoe seems to have slipped off of her foot, as if it is almost done intentionally. It gives one the imagination for where the shoe will land or towards whom it will land.
Who exactly is that man staring up her skirt?
That is Baron himself. Baron de Saint-Julien, who is also known as a playboy, who asked to be placed in the perfect position, allowing for perfect vision of the flying skirt of the young woman. Another request to Fragonard was, "Place me in a position where I can observe the legs of that charming girl." Along with him, placed where he is, which is in the bottom left hidden in the rose bushes. He is painted in a half-lying, half-sitting position.
Oh, okay. So if you look at his pose, it seems as if he is excited to be peeking under her skirt. Baron's right hand is open towards the young woman, and his left hand is outstretched towards her as well with his hat in his hand. His torso is angled, and all these aspects of his body parts exaggerate the direction as a spectator.
It seems as if Baron isn't the only one watching her, however. Who else is watching her?
There are 2 cupids on a fish or dolphin-shaped sculpture facing the mistress. There is also an Amor Silentio sitting to the left side of the painting on a pedestal-like structure and is staring at her as well. The sculptor's finger is in his mouth, which is showing the excited observers to be quiet about what is being witnessed.
The dog on the bottom right has his mouth open, maybe from barking. It suggests that he is breaking the silence and is letting the woman know. And since dogs represent fidelity, you can probably see why the dog is barking and breaking that silence.